Welcome back to another episode of Android tutorial. In today's episode, we are going to learn about how to working with GridView in Android. So by using a GridView, you can easily arrange the image views in rows and columns. So using a GridView is very useful while you are working with an application that contain an image view or that contain some galleries. So here in this episode I will demonstrate how to using a grid view in Android. So here I use these images to create the grid view. I use all these images to working with the grid view in my Android application. So first I have to copy all these images and I have to paste all these images into my Android application. So I have to paste all that images into the drawable folder of my Android application. So here I am going to paste that all the images into these folders. So I'm going to paste it here. So I paste it on the first drawable folder. To get support from all the devices, you have to paste the same images in all these folders. So I just paste the same images on all these folder. Here these are the image names: sample 1, sample 0 up to sample 7. There are 8 images are available on this folder. The same images are available with all these folders. Okay, so now we have to add the grid view layout on our XML file. So I open the activity main.xml file, go to the XML version of that file. Here this is a relative layout is already available on this XML. So I just remove that relative layout and I change it into grid view. Here is a text view is already available. We don't need that. So I just remove that text view, close that grid view. Okay, so here is the width is much parent and height is also much parent. I remove all these components, and first we have to specify an ID for our grid view. So here I'm going to specify an ID for our grid view, Android ID plus ID. I name it as grid view. Okay, just specify an ID for the grid view. Now we have to specify the column width for the grid view. So Android column width, I specify it as 90 density pixel, 90 dp. Okay, now we have to specify the number of columns available on this grid view. So Android number of columns, I specify it as autofit. Now we have to specify the vertical spacing for these columns. So Android vertical spacing, I provide a vertical spacing of 10 density pixel. So we got a 10 density pixel space between two adjacent images. So now we have to specify the stretch mode, Android stretch mode. I specify it as column width. Now we have to align the grid view into the center of the layout. So we use the gravity. So Android gravity is center. Okay, now we complete the coding for the layout of the grid view. Here is a grid view is available on the layout with ID grid view. Okay, now I just go to the main activity.java file. We need an object of grid view here. Grid view, I specify it as grid underscore view. Okay, now initialize this object. So grid view equal to find view by ID r dot id dot that id of the grid view is symbol grid view. Okay, this is image, so this is object, so we have to cast it into grid view. Okay, so we just cast it into grid view. Okay, so we need to add some objects, some image views into the grid view. So definitely we need an adapter to add the grid view, add the objects, add the images into the grid view. So for creating the grid view, here I'm going to create a new class. So right click the package and create a new Java class. I name it as image adapter. It's a simple class, image adapter, and browse for the superclass. Of course, it is base adapter. Base adapter. Okay, so this class extends the base adapter class and click finish. So we got the class here, class image views. Okay, we got some override method called the get count, get item id, and finally we got a method called the get view. The get count method will returns the number of images or the number of objects available on particular adapter, and here the get item will return an object that currently available on the adapter, and the get item id method will return the number of rows, the current row of that particular image adapter, and finally this will create a new view for the newly added image for the on the grid view. Okay, so here we need to specify the we need to get the count. So for getting the id of the images, we need to create an integer array. So here I'm going to create an integer array, private integer image id. I specify it as image id. It's an array, and here we need to get the image IDs from the drawable folder. So r dot drawable dot the first image is symbol 0, put comma, and now go for the second image, r dot drawable dot symbol image 1. Now go for the third image, r dot drawable dot this is 2. Okay, I get all the images IDs from the r.drawable folder from image 0 to image 7 here, and I save it into this integer array named image id. Okay, now we have to create an object of context class here. So create an object of context class, private context. I give it a ctx. Okay, so now here we need a constructor of this class called base adapter. So here I'm going to create a constructor public base adapter that contain an object of the context class, context ctx. Okay, and here I initialize the context. Here I'm going to initialize the context ctx. So this dot ctx equal to ctx. Just initialize the context class object. What happens here? Public base adapter. Sorry, it is not base adapter, it is image adapter. The class name is image adapter. That is the class name. Public image adapter. That is the class name. What happens here? Okay, I just copy this statement and enter it into the constructor. There is no need of this statement. Okay, so just create a default constructor. It's not a default constructor that contain an object of context class context ctx. Okay, so I just initialize the context object here from this constructor. So now here we have to get the count of the images available on the adapter. So here we have to get the count. So we can get the count from this image adapter. So it will return image id dot length. It will return the length of the image id. That means it will return the total number of images available on this string array called image id. Okay, so now we have to there is no need of this method on this example. Again, there is no need of the get item id method here. So now we have to create the view for the image view. We have to create separate image view for the grid view from this method called getView method. So of course here we need an object of image view. Image view, I name it as img. Okay, so if there is already images available on the if there is a new item added into the integer array, that means a new image is available, we have to create a separate image view for that image. So if the image is already available on the string array, on the integer array, then it will return we got an object of view class here. So if the image view is already created for that particular image, we got that object we got that object of that particular image view on this view argument. If the image is newly added, that means there is no image view instance available for that particular image, then it will return null. So we have to check whether this argument is null or not for first. If it is null, we have to create a separate image view and we have to specify the parameters for that particular image view. So that is the first step here. So if the arg of 1 is equal to null, that means there is no image view is available for the particular image available on that integer array. So here we have to specify, you have to create a separate image view for that particular image. So I'm going to initialize that image view object img equal to new image view, and you have to specify the context object. Here the context object is ctx. Okay, just start the image view object here. So now we have to set the parameters for this image view. So the first parameter is the layout parameters, set layout params. So img dot set layout params, new grid view, new grid view, new grid view dot new grid view dot layout params. What is happened here? New grid view, okay, new set layout params dot new grid view, new grid view dot new grid view dot layout params, params, layout params. And here we have to specify the height and width of the image view using this set layout params method. So here I'm going to specify the height is 160, also width is also 160. Okay, so here we need to import the grid view. Okay, so here we set the height and width of the image view using this method called set layout params. Okay, now we have to specify the scale type of the image. So img dot set scale type. There is a method called set scale type, and here the scale type is from the image view. The scale type is get from the image view class. So image view dot scale type. There is a method called scale type dot center crop. So by using this method, set scale type image view dot scale type center crop. So by using this method, you can make sure that your image is actually aligned center. That means it is automatically cropped to align at the center of the image view that has height 160 and width 160 pixel. Okay. Now we have to specify the padding. We have to specify padding for that image. So img dot set padding. You have to specify the padding for left, top, right, and bottom. I put the value 8 for padding at the left. Also 8 for the top, 8 for right, and 8 for bottom. Okay. So we just set the layout parameters, and we set the scale type, and finally we set the padding of the image. Okay. So now we have to specify the now we can return the image view. So before that, so we on the if loop we can get the image view on this object called image. If the image view is already created for that particular image, then we can get that convert view. We can get the object of that particular image view on this object called arg1. So if the image view is already created, that means this is a recyclable object. So that means if the image view is already present, we can get the image view here. If it is null, then we have to create the image view for the newly added image. So on the else part, there is nothing to do. We just initialize the image object with the value of arg1. img equal to arg1. Okay, so here you need to cast it into image view. Okay, so now finally you have to specify the source of image to the image view. So img dot, there is a method called set image source image resource. There is a method called set image resource, and you can specify that image resource from this variable image id and specify the index of that particular image. So you can get the index from this variable called here is an integer variable is available, integer parameter is available here. This is the count, this is the index of that particular image. So you can use that argument arg of 0. That is actually the index of that particular image. Finally, you have to return that image view img. Okay, results already a return type is available here. Okay, finally you have to return that image view. Now we successfully completed. Okay, so we have to do something on the grid view on the main activity. Okay, now here you have to specify the image adapter for this grid view. So grid view dot set adapter. Adapter is given from the class called image adapter. So new image adapter, and you have to specify a context. So I pass this as context. Okay, this is context. Okay, so now we successfully completed all the coding for display the image view on the image views on the grid view. So now we have to specify, we have to create the method for if the user clicked any image, we can use this method called the GridView dot set on item click listener new on item click listener. You have to enter a semicolon here. There are some unimplemented methods are available here. You have to import some packages and you have to specify some unimplemented method. Okay, here we got an override method called on item click that contains some arguments and an adapter view, and here is a view object, and here also an integer object. Here we got a long argument. So here I just print a message using a toast dot make text, get the base context. You click on image and specify the index of the image. You can get the index of the image from this integer parameter called arg2. So arg2, and specify duration for the toast dot make it as long. Now make the toast visible using show method. Okay, so now we successfully complete the coding of this image view, how to working with grid view in Android. So you can download, I put all these code segments into my blog. You can refer the source code from my blog. You can get the URL of my blog from the description of this video. Also you can download the entire project from my blog. You can get the you can easily download the entire project from my blog. Okay, now we can run the project. We have to check it. We have to run the project. So here I'm going to run the application. So run as Android application. Open up the emulator. So here we got the project. So here we got all the images in a grid view. Here we get a 10 density pixel spacing between all these images, and we got 60, we got 80. What is the cells padding? Yeah, set padding is 8, and we set the height and width into 160. Okay, so this is 160 image height and 160 pixel image width. So I click the first image, you click image 0th index image, and I click the last image. So you click the image with index 7. So guys, this is how we working with a grid view in Android. This is a very useful component if you're working with an Android application that contains some galleries or image views. Okay, thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel now for getting more video updates. See you in the next part.